Angels come in many shapes, sizes, and breeds. Pam Gaber, is the founder of Gabriels Angels, is going to show you the reason why her Gabriel became an angel.
Million things could make you wonder. Thousand thoughts come in like water on the wind. Just as I am swept up under, there is this hope in a glance, promising more than just a chance. Say it's alright to have this moment and make it mine. Say you believe in everything I've ever wanted, in anything at all. Letting go can be so tough, but letting in can take a strength I just don't have. Maybe I am just not ready. Watching the fall of the sand, knowing you're more than just a man. Say it's alright to have this moment and make it mine. Say you believe in everything I've ever wanted, in anything at all, in all the things that I've ever dreamed, in anything at all. Watching the fall of the sand, knowing you're more than just a man. Say it's alright to have this moment and make it mine. Say you believe in everything I've ever.
Pam, you are an example of good things come to those who wait.
Well, thank you.
Because I've been wanting to interview you for years now, so thank you so much for this
Welcome.
opportunity.
My pleasure.
And we're here at Gabriels Angels, and this is Snickers, and I'd like you to tell the audience what it is your organization does.
I would love to, and Snickers is a great example of what we do. We provide healing pet therapy to abused, neglected, and at-risk youth in the Valley. You know, these kids don't trust, they lack empathy and compassion, and really the therapy dog becomes the teacher for them. It's just a beautiful, magical reaction.
It is, and I mean, this is therapy for me right now.
Me
and
too.
I'm not, well, I am a kid. I have Peter Pan syndrome. I'm never going to grow up.
That's good.
But so feeling the softness of the fur and the cuteness of the face and just the unconditional love, snickerdoodles, which is what children are supposed to be made of
Yes.
that unconditional love, but they don't always get that opportunity.
You said everything, that really these animals accept these children in any way, shape, or form. I remember when I went with Gabriel, our founding dog, to Crisis Nursery, they would be so excited that Gabriel is here, Gabriel is here. And I'd ask the children what my name is. They go, we don't know. So it certainly is the relationship, and it's not a one-time visit. These miracles occur over time, because all of a sudden a child will say, Snickers keeps coming back. So maybe trust doesn't always lead to disappointment, so I can begin to trust. Then the hope, and we've seen the bridges to trusting other humans. Because these children need these core behaviors that are normally taught by a mom, a dad, a caregiver, and these kids haven't had the opportunity to learn them. So we're really wedging the cycle of violence so these children can choose empathy and compassion and not anger and violence. And they're doing this through the interactions with the therapy dog.
Now, does it matter the degree of abuse? I mean, if they're severely abused, is the challenge to get them to the other side much more difficult?
Absolutely, yes. And what we have is we have 2 different programs within Gabriels Angels. The most common one, and really how I started the organization, is group therapy, to where there'll be about 5 to 10 children in a group. But you are very intuitive, because what happens is a child that has been through the worst trauma, that child won't interact in a group. They don't know how. They're desensitized. So we have a program, and Snickers is one of our leading dogs in this, of one-on-one intervention, where the agency therapist contacts our social worker here on staff and says, Johnny is so severely traumatized, Snickers gets written into the treatment plan for that child. And it's really true animal-assisted therapy that we're doing now.
And let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about Gabriel. That was a dog that you once had. And how did that dog create all of this?
Sometimes we wonder ourselves, I'll tell you. I had left corporate America, and I didn't have a dog because I traveled so much, so I had kind of a hole in my heart, and I wanted to adopt a puppy. So it was January 1st, 1999, I'll never forget it. I adopted the most adorable Weimaraner puppy ever born on the planet. And of course, I was a little biased, yes. And I had been volunteering at the Crisis Nursery, which is a safe haven for children 10 years and under. Every Friday I'd volunteer. So I got Gabriel on New Year's Day. The next Friday I went back to the kids. I go, guess what? And they go, what, Miss Pam? I said, I have a new puppy. What did you name him? I said, I named him Gabriel. Aw. What happened? Every Friday I went back, Miss Pam, how's Gabriel? Tell us about Gabriel. What did Gabriel do now? And I realized they were bonding with an animal they never met. So fast forward to the end of that year, end of '99, the Crisis Nursery had their Christmas party, and I brought Gabriel dressed as Rudolph.
Wow.
Just so the kids could meet him. I had no other agenda. I'm going to bring him with antlers, a Jingle Bell collar, and a Just Call Me Rudolph t-shirt. And he wore it proudly, which was kind of surprising. And so those kids that day, they were different. They weren't angry and violent. They were so loving and kind. And we all were watching a gentle gray dog reach children like no adult could. And the CEO of the Crisis Nursery said, I don't know what happened here today, but would you bring him back?
Wow, you know, that's one of the most amazing stories I've heard, because had you not recognized what was actually going on behind the scenes with this dog, none of this would have happened.
If I wasn't a volunteer there, I just went, I wouldn't have noticed that stark change in behavior. Right. And that day was the seed for Gabriels Angels. It was planted, and I've been the gardener ever since, and Gabe and I actually volunteered 10 years at Crisis Nursery with those kids. He probably saw about 100,000 kids in his lifetime.
What an amazing story, what an amazing dog to be able to touch, one dog touching the lives of that many.
Right.
And that brings me to just something that came through, but if you're doing this for children, is there any possibility down the line in the future, because adults need this kind of...
Oh gosh, pet therapy can be used in every arena at every age. Our 501c3, which is issued by the IRS, is strictly for abused, neglected, and at-risk youth. All populations, you know, the elderly, hospitals, hospice, autism, they're all important. And there's other groups in town that are doing that. We're reaching about 70% of the kids that need us. So certainly expansion, which we can't really do because we'd have to go back to the IRS, when you're not reaching the population that's here. You know, we've kind of reached capacity from a funding standpoint to reach about 13,700 kids, and there's probably 22,000 that need us. So all of our efforts are focused on those kids, because someday they're going to be us. You know, they're going to be videographers, they're going to be teachers and bankers, and they deserve every chance to grow up understanding what it's like to be a healthy adult.
Yes, well, your story may inspire someone out there to create that avenue.
I'd love that.
For the adults, so thank you for that. And you know what, Snickerdoodle? You are so adorable. Yes, look
He's
at that
kind of cute,
face.
isn't he?
He's beyond cute. And before we close, first of all, I want to thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
And for who you are.
I appreciate your
what you're
opportunity.
doing. Thank you. And is there anything that Gabriel's Angels may need, or is there anything you'd like to say before closing?
Well, you know, we always need therapy teams. Really, that's where the direct service occurs with paws on the ground, I like to say. In addition to that, you know, funding that's why I'm here, because the community supports us with their funding. And we have board memberships and committees, and as a 501c3, you know, the only reason people don't give to charity is because nobody asked them. So we're out there asking.
Well, good. Asking you shall receive, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you, Pam, for
Thank
being
you.
an inspiration and for being such a wonderful
My pleasure.
Avenue for children to get healthy. Thank you so much. Global Rescuers wants to introduce Dulce. She was found in Mexico, paralyzed and pregnant. Ruth Ann Myers stepped up, and here's the story.
Let me tell you Dulce's story. In December of 2014, I saw a picture on Facebook pleading for help for her, and she was in Mexico. I was able to travel to San Diego and meet somebody at the border who brought Dulce across. She was paralyzed, was found on the streets, and she ended up being pregnant. I brought her back, and she saw a vet, and they told me to put her to sleep because she was paralyzed from her back down. The neurologist gave her some hope. Said the problem wasn't with her back end, but it was with her mid-back. A few short weeks later, she started, after working with her, doing a little massage and therapy in the bathtub, she started walking, and then she was able to run a little bit, but she wiggles quite a bit. So we were able to obtain a back brace for Dulce through Wigglist.com. They donated a brace for her, and it keeps her steady when she walks. She's made a tremendous amount of progress. We are raising funds for Dulce because she needs her MRI so we can get a definitive answer on what exactly may have happened to her. And at that point, once we get the MRI, we can decide on what treatment that she'll need, whether it be surgery or just regular therapy, maybe acupuncture or hydrotherapy, just so she can walk normal. Dulce deserves a normal life. Please, won't you help her?
Next, we stop by the Yappy Hour for the Crazy Pitbull Lady fundraiser at the Cowboy Lookout Grill. Lots of people and lots of animals showed up on this beautiful Sunday. It only takes one to do something great. Are you the one? This is Kimberly reminding you that the Global Rescuers isn't just a show, it's a movement. We'll see you next time.